We're back on the Early Edge on CBS Sports Network, and I am joined by Larry Hartstein, a.k.a. The Maestro, and Alex Selesnick, a.k.a. PropStarz. Gentlemen, more team-by-team profiles to get through. We're 38 days away from NFL season. I am extremely excited. Kansas City Chiefs is who we have to talk about today. Now, last year, Larry, we had the Kansas City Chiefs somehow rattle off 15 wins, only 2 losses. One of those losses came in with the backups in. With all that in mind, is this a season for the Chiefs where we see them flirting with that 15-win season again? I do want to mention they're plus 750 to have the most regular seasons in the NFL.
Not at all, Sia. This was a team that had the 12th best point differential in the league. They beat the Chargers on a doink off the upright. They beat the Broncos on a blocked field goal. They beat the Bengals on a 4th and 16 pass interference, and they beat the Ravens when Isaiah Likely's toe was on the end line. They were 11-0 in one-score games. As great as Andy Reid and Patrick Mahomes have been throughout their careers in one-score games, this was an anomaly. I think they're still going to be a very good team. They're still going to be in the mix to win it all. But we're looking at a season of 11, 12 wins, something like that, even with all the nice offseason additions that they did make.
And I totally agree with Larry here. I think the Chiefs are a very good football team, but basically everything that went right for them could have went right last season, particularly considering their record in close games, as Larry mentioned. Then we look at the team this year. While I still think they're going to be very good, they're playing in an absolutely loaded conference. The division looks very difficult as well. They have a difficult schedule based on projected win totals. They have the 5th toughest schedule of any team in the NFL, so they can still have an incredibly successful year, win 12 or 13 games, which seems like a more realistic range of outcomes for them. I think, again, they would have to be incredibly lucky to top that total or to eclipse the wins last year. So I still think they can have a tremendous season. Most likely they win somewhere between 11 and 13 games.
I'll say this. I agree with both of you, but the only pushback I'll give you is you'd like to think, and I'm not sure if this is true, you'd like to think the offensive line will be a little bit better. And also if the receivers, and I know we have looming suspensions as well, but if the receivers stay relatively healthy, maybe that offense clicks a little bit better as well. But I do think it comes down to the offensive line. With that in mind, Alex, their win total, it's 11.5. Are we touching that number? The over is even money.
If I had to pick one way, see, I would lean over on this number. But if I look at the rest of the division, I think it's going to be tough for Kansas City to win more than 13 games. I think this is a good number for them. We look at the Denver Broncos. They look significantly better than last year after having a successful team. The Chargers look like a potential playoff team, 10 wins as well. You can make a strong argument the Raiders got a lot better. So it's going to be tough. Their schedules difficult as well. I thought they also had some luck, as Larry mentioned, having a lucky field goal and just a lot of these spots where they came up on the right side of things. So if I look at the win total, I do think it's an efficient line. I lean over because we're still talking about Patrick Mahomes paired with Andy Reid. There's still lots of weapons. I still think they have a top 5 defense, but I think 11.5 is a very good number for them.
Patrick Mahomes as a starter has never won fewer than 11 games, so I have to lean over with Proppy. I also like the fact that Hollywood Brown should be on the field for more than 2 games. Rashee Rice only played 4 games before he got hurt. Yes, he's going to be suspended, but we're talking about 5 games, maybe 7 at the most. And then the moves they made on defense, Charles Omenihu bringing him back, signing Christian Fulton, a good cornerback, and addressing the offensive line, Jalen Moore to help at left tackle, and Josh Simmons, of course, the first-round draft pick. So I think they had a very wise offseason. I think, at the price, they're going to land right in there, 11, 12, or 13, slight lean to the over.
Yeah, we keep talking about that receiver group. Let's transition to the MVP odds, because that receiver group, if it kind of stays together and plays a lot through the 17 regular season games, we might be looking at a Patrick Mahomes MVP. The number over at BetMGM is plus 650. I'll tell you guys right now, I'm not interested in this number at all. Make the argument the other way, though. Larry.
Yeah, well, I do like it just because it always goes to a team that finishes, as a 1 or 2 seed, and the Chiefs usually are in the mix for that. And Patrick Mahomes has talked about they have to be more explosive. They have to throw the ball downfield. Now, if you have Xavier Worthy, Hollywood Brown, and Rashee Rice on the field, and you have some better protection up front, Patrick Mahomes is going to fling it downfield. That's what he's saying. That's what all the talk is in training camp, that he's got to trust these guys. He's got to get back to that explosive passing game. And if that's the approach that they take, Patrick Mahomes in the MVP race is always something that's going to have some value.
Yeah, and I think there is an argument to be made for some value for Patrick Mahomes, but we know Kansas City, they're trying to win the Super Bowl. They're trying to get into the postseason healthy. They want to peak at the right time. I think when it comes to the regular season, yes, they'd like to win games, but I think it's more important that they get there towards the end. So I just don't know how much they're going to really see Patrick Mahomes air it out. I don't think he's going to throw for 5,000 yards. I don't think he's going to have the statistical output that he had early in his career. I think the Chiefs can win with their defense. They can win with their ground game. They can win these close score games. So I just don't know if Mahomes is going to have the numbers required to win another MVP. So I do think that he's going to be in the mix. Obviously, we're talking about the best quarterback in the league, or certainly one of them on one of the best teams in the league. But I think I'd rather put my money on other candidates.
Yeah, I'm putting my money on Joe Burrow for MVP. We saw his odds similar to that of Patrick Mahomes. All right, let's go to the touchdown prop for Patrick Mahomes. Alex, I'm going to start with you this time. 27.5 is the number, the over -115 at BetMGM.
Since Patrick Mahomes has become a starter in the NFL, guys, he's averaged 35 touchdowns passing per season. So this is a low number for him. So I'm going to take the over here pretty confidently, I might add as well. I do think we're going to see the Chiefs open it up a bit. I think we're going to see him throw the ball downfield. They certainly have the personnel with a healthy Hollywood Brown. Xavier Worthy really came on strong last year in his rookie season. Rashee Rice getting him back in the mix as well. I think the Chiefs have the weapons for Mahomes to once again be highly efficient through the air. So I do think we see an uptick in his touchdown production. So I like the over here quite a bit.
Yeah, we've gone several minutes in this segment. We didn't mention Travis Kelce is back. That's another guy that scores touchdowns for Patrick Mahomes. Yeah, the number is too low given his history, given the weapons that he's going to have. I think he gets back into the 30s, not the 40 plus that we saw a few years ago, but definitely in the 30s.
All right, let's transition to the Chiefs as a whole here. Larry, I'll start with you. The Chiefs are plus 800 to win it all. They're plus 360 to win the AFC. Either of those numbers enticing to you?
Not really, because I think this is the Ravens' year. I think with the signings that they made, they're going for it clearly. When you add a guy like Jair Alexander and Chidobe Awuzie, you bring back Ronnie Stanley, you extend Derrick Henry. So I think it's the Ravens' year. I do think the Chiefs will be good. They'll be back in the mix, but I think Baltimore finally breaks through.
I have to agree with Larry here as well. I just think we look at the AFC as a whole. It's just so stacked. There's so many teams that could potentially play in the Super Bowl or win the conference. Buffalo, Baltimore, obviously. Even in their own division, I think Denver is a legitimate playoff contender. The Chargers. It's a stacked conference, so I just don't think there's a ton of value on the Chiefs. So I'd be looking to attack other teams potentially to play in the Super Bowl.
I literally agree with every single word both of you just said, and down to the teams that you think can contend for the AFC Championship, if not the Super Bowl. All right, let's go to season-long props before we close things out and jump over to our next team, which is the Los Angeles Rams, who I absolutely love, by the way. But let's stick with the Chiefs real quick. Alex, I know you had some receiver props you were considering, but the looming suspension, you're just going to stay away. So, Larry, talk to me about Isaiah Pacheco.
Isaiah Pacheco over 4.5 rushing touchdowns coming back at -130 is a great play in my opinion. This guy, you can throw out last year. He broke his leg early in the season. He wasn't the same when he came back. Let's remember what he did the first 2 years, averaging 4.7 yards a carry. This guy ran a sub 4.4 at the combine. He was 216 pounds. He's back up. He added muscle. Andy Reid said he looks tremendous. You have a guy who they're going to use when they get down near the goal line. He had 7 touchdowns in his last healthy season, even had 5 rushing touchdowns as a rookie. We know he scores in the postseason. To get to 5 touchdowns for Isaiah Pacheco, absolutely love it.